Got some crackers in the shop. Why does this not refresh? Come on. There we go. Hey. There we go. All right. Good morning, everyone, whoever's here. This is COVID and Coffee, day 2 of tearing down the Traxxas XMAXX. And I call it the 2-day rip because this thing only had, well, I can't determine whether if it was 1.5 battery packs or 1.75 battery packs, meaning obviously the second rip was cut short because the pinion slipped. So trying to figure out potentially what's going on with this Traxxas Max. In part 1, which was yesterday of COVID and Coffee, which was morning check-in, whole bunch of words, said something along the lines of Traxxas XMAXX down, wait, what, broken already, or something like that. I don't know. But within that, we realized that, or I realized, I say we, it's just a better way of saying it. We, as a group, realized that taking the Traxxas XMAXX to the location that I went might not really be the best scenario for longevity in driving, or let's see, if you are a lack of maintenance type of person, yeah, you might not want to take a Traxxas XMAXX to a location like this. A couple of people made some really good comments in the stream yesterday, and it was something along the lines of running the Traxxas Max through Diamond, like XMAXX, whatever it is. Traxxas Max, XMAXX, same damn thing. It's all plastic. Taking it and like ripping it through diamond dust, which it sure does seem like that's the way it kind of worked out. So the conditions that I, took it in and what I essentially put it through, some people were kind of questioning, like, why are you treating it like a particular thing? And because of that one comment, I have decided to rename my Traxxas XMAXX Trash Bag. So, and I love it. I don't know how sometimes stuff like that happens, but that's what's great about this community, that nobody's really beating me down for beating down the Traxxas XMAXX. It's more along the lines of, more like, wow, that's like a lot. So sand obviously got in everywhere, and I did expect, so I 100% did expect for sand to get into the truck. But I didn't expect, I think, for the level of sand that infiltrated literally every single crevice of this truck. But if you think about the Traxxas XMAXX and Max's design, they're both 100% plastic. I think the only thing that's metal is the motor, so, and the drive shafts, and little stupid things, you know what I mean? But the majority of it that holds it together is all plastic. There's a benefit to that, and there's also a drawback. So what I'm trying to figure out is, do the benefits outweigh the drawbacks? And I'm still, believe it or not, I am still along the lines of, I'm not on the fence here. I am still along the lines of saying that this XMAXX is a very resilient truck, and that's, I'll leave it like right there. It's resilient. Does it have issues? Yes. Am I going to talk about my phone call to Traxxas twice yesterday, which prompted me to go ahead and create a post on my own Facebook website? I don't know, because I'm not looking to tear Traxxas down in any way. That's not my objective. My kind of objective is to say, Traxxas, you guys know you've got an issue. And for you not to admit it and to actually try to fluff me off to my local hobby shop saying that that was the better course of action to take because they more believe or trust in those dealers than they do the customers, that was probably the wrong thing to say to me. So, yeah, so that's the only thing that I'm kind of having an issue with. I spoke to 2 people, and I got the programmed Traxxas response that apparently is something new that is happening. Now, this is all formulated under my own opinion. The other thing that I think I want to start doing is when you call a company, right? Every once in a while, you'll get that recording that says, this call is being this call may be recorded for training purposes. Okay. Well, how about this one? The next time I call somebody, I'm going to just announce this call may be recorded for training purposes. Like, I mean, does that make it okay to record the conversation? Because if anything, I'd actually love to have a transcript of that conversation between those 2 guys to kind of point out that each person was handling things in a kind of the same way, but being more along the lines of distrust. And when I called them on it, there was a little bit of a backpedal. And that's something right there that I don't like because, yes, could I have taken 2,000 battery packs and ripped it through this thing within, you know, what have I had this thing for? Like a month and a half or whatever it's been? Yeah, I guess I could have, but yeah, I don't know, whatever. I know that they can't believe the customer. I know it is what it is. I know that, you know, we, the people, that's why I worded it that way. We, the people, are only the very minor majority or minor minority or whatever you want to call it. And what they put more stock in is they put more stock in the dealers. They put more stock in the hobby shops because, you know, people, hate to say it, a lot of people are out there to try to get something for nothing. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for technically a wrong to be righted. One rip and my bearings in the rear were already falling apart. One rip. My first rip with the Traxxas XMAXX. Now, yes, I already have the upgrades. I was warned by Earl Moorhead. He just said, hey, put it this way, before you go out and rip it, why don't you buy yourself some upgrades? Because he basically, without saying, I guarantee, he said, I guarantee that your rear bearings are going to basically fall apart. So, and he was right. They actually fell apart to the point of where I now have a melted hub, which, I don't know, man. User error? Or is the Traxxas XMAXX really not built like maybe they're portraying it, or maybe like how we're thinking that it is? So, seeing that we tore apart the whole rear end, got the motor out, realized that actually there's a flaw in the motor, at least my motor shaft, there's a flaw. There's no way around it. The bearing is not supposed to slop onto the shaft. It's supposed to be a nice fit. That way you're making use of the bearing and not causing basically a vibration issue, because that's what I saw. I saw that bearing itself probably suffered damage because the shaft was, even if you want to say harmonically vibrating on that inner race. So I just, man, when you come across a company that likes to, I don't have any good words for it, fluff it out. They like to not admit publicly. And even the guy, right? He's like, I'm sure he said something along the lines, I'm sure that you understand or know that Traxxas doesn't answer to any social media or anything like that. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, because you guys will get pounded. You know what I mean? As soon as you guys open your mouth about something, you'd be slammed, because there's a whole bunch of people out here, the majority, us, who are we the people that are keeping that company in, basically in business. Think about it. If literally everybody, and I know that there are people that are, you know, the true blue, you know, I love Traxxas, and Traxxas is the, you know, the all powerful, and I get that. I totally get it. I love my Fords. I love my Chevys. I love Mopar, so I get it. I get that you have those people that are like lasered in, like how I feel about certain LOSIs. Not every LOSI, but certain LOSIs. The Tenacity DB Pro. And most likely the Laser Nut, which is such a messed up name, man. Why'd they have to call that the Laser Nut? I don't know, man. It's such a funky name. I don't get it. But yeah. And then obviously we have ARRMA. And I think what Traxxas is kind of maybe losing sight of is that we, the people, are realizing that there's way more offerings out there. You got Hobao, which is a company that I definitely, their customer service blows in my mind. Not blows. It blows my mind. Their customer service has been the best customer service I have ever encountered concerning an RC car company. So, and no one's perfect. And then you have ARRMA, which ARRMA is stepping up their game so massively. And then now you have, obviously, LOSI has always been that finely tuned, in my mind. This is all personal opinion. So LOSI has always been like that finely tuned, like, you know, machine. Like when you buy a LOSI, again, it's not every single vehicle because not every single vehicle is perfect. But the couple of LOSIs that I have had, which it's technically only 2, 3, and then now it's going to be 4, or 5 if you count the other one. It's always been a very high quality product. Now ARRMA, on the other hand, they are rising so hard and so fast. I'm really starting to feel like, or have an opinion, a formed opinion, that Traxxas is getting scared. So in order for them to pull the crap that they pulled with me concerning my warranty claim, and then me to bring out a couple of other things to them, which I won't even waste your guys' time talking about, and for there to be a straight across the board denial, I get it, Traxxas. I know what you're doing. So does everybody else. But we, the people, technically are really in control. It's just we've got to control it. Do you know what I'm saying? We are the people. We are the make and break of any company out there. That's what we need to keep that in mind. So there needs to be a checks and balances thing that happens to maybe a company like that think they're untouchable. Now, I don't know the whole scenario between the RC Sailors and Traxxas and blah, 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 but the very short thing or very limited thing that I heard about it was basically they treated them like a piece of crap and lawyered up and tried to use money, which is our money, to, I don't know, do whatever they did. And I hate to say it, but there are also people out there that don't like the RC Sailors. I could care less what anybody else thinks. I have my own opinion of those two people. They are doing the best that they can within their knowledge of the RC vehicles. And what is the main thing that I always like talk about? They might not get out there and like full on rip it, but the other thing that I always say is put a smile on your face. Like, and when you watch them, they seemingly are happy. So that's what I like about their channel, is that they're happy people. At least they appear happy. At least on camera, they appear happy. So, all right, enough of this, you know, down talk, whatever. What is happening, everybody? I'm still on a high about my conversations with Traxxas, but yeah. So what we're going to do today is continue with the teardown process because it's part of maintenance. I definitely ripped this XMAXX really hard. I trash bagged it. So that's why it's called trash bag. So anyways, just going to jump in the chat real quick, just say hello to everybody, and then we're going to start tearing it down. I may like have a bite of a cracker here and there. Might have to get a water. It's kind of, when you look through across the yard, you can see there's a haze. It's got like that, not quite super soupy yet, but you can feel that it's kind of moist out. So like I said, I'm just going to jump into the chat here, say hello to everybody, and we got 21 people on here. Nice. What do we got here? Mike Chernak towards the Traxxas lawsuit. Nice guy. Oh my God, that's awesome, dude. Matthew Sim, what is this? I just bought an XMAXX. I can't wait to get some footage on my channel. Keep up the good work. I've been subbed for a couple weeks now. Matthew, that is awesome, man. It's definitely gonna be a good truck to get content with. But I will tell you, like right now, you probably already know, don't rip it as hard as I did and expect it to survive. So, all right, so who was first? We had RC Master first. Shade Tree RC is here. We got Mitchell's RC. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Mike Jernak, Lauren Cronish, Crack 3D RC, Dylan Davis, Venom 54. What's going on, guy? Hope you're doing well as well. JORC is here. Big Papa Paul is here. Mile High RC. Good morning to you as well. Asterian, what's happening, brother? Let's see. Chuck GRC. Good morning. I think that might be about it that popped in. Don't really see anybody else. the LOSI nut looks right. Am I getting the LOSI? Yeah, it's already on pre-order. Yeah, and the reason why it's on pre-order is, it's two reasons why it's on pre-order. Similar to the Tenacity DB Pro, similar. I know it's a rock racer. I know it's different in its own ways, but I already have in mind one modification that in order for me to want to rip this RC, I have one modification that I have to do to it. I've already been researching it, and hopefully this modification is going to follow through with maybe everybody else because I see a flaw in the truck already. I saw a couple of videos. Tony from CCXRC did a nice video. The guy Harley there, he did also a nice video. The difference between CCXRC and Harley for myself is Harley is very scale educated. I guess that's his forte. The filming process of his video, it wasn't, I mean, it was average. It was a running, video. I don't think there was really that much put into it, but the meat and potatoes of his was the explanation of everything. That was great. And then you got CCXRC, who, in my personal opinion, again, this is just a personal opinion across the board. This is how I do it. My personal opinion is Tony's video, the video aspect of it was crisp. It was very well laid out, very well filmed. I enjoyed actually watching that video versus Harley's video. And again, I'm not putting Harley down. He's whoever he is. I don't watch his show, but I'll still say his name because he's very educated in scale. I'm not a scale kind of guy. I like to just get out there and rip it. So, and Tony Tony's almost like an in-between to me. This is, again, all personal opinion. Tony's an in-between of where he will get out and rip it, but he also has a certain amount of, you know, that knowledge. He has a good way of speaking. So, and my channel is more like the redneck version of, you know, let's just get out there, rip it, smash it, you know, whatever. You saw some of the videos I did recently, I think. So, again, I'm done with talking. But thank you guys for those donations towards the Traxxas lawsuit. I'm sure I'll probably need it. But I'm just going to jump in. We're going to continue on working on this RC. We took off the back third, I'll call it the back 1/3 of the RC. We took the motor out. Obviously, you know, we found piles of sand, which I did expect. You got to think about it, man. That thing was launching hard, and every hit that thing takes, you know, the chassis is opening up. It's basically just shoveling sand into the RC. I guess maybe I didn't fully expect the amounts of sand that we found. So yeah, so let's just keep ripping into this thing. We're going to basically separate the front end from the center. So now we'll have another 2/3 of the vehicle to work on. We'll separate those into 1/3. We'll see what kind of sand that we're going to pull out of the front. I'm not sure how much more sand we'll pull out of the front, but just because of the way I'm thinking I see things designed, it's almost as if it seems like maybe the majority of the sand was going to be towards the back, but who knows? I mean, this is only 2 rips, but it was 2 rips worth of, is this XMAXX what they say it is? So maybe on maintenance, you might not like it, but on durability so far, yeah, just make sure you maintain it. We can obviously see that, man. That's a lot of maintenance. All right. So obviously the camera's going to be like moving around just to try to get like the best scenario for things to be seen, if you know what I'm saying. And yes, I do have a whole stack of paper plates because this is what I use. This is the best thing to use. You know, it's got like the white bright surface. You can put all your parts in there. If you need to separate, you got multiple paper plates, and it works out. So just it's the way I've always done it. It's the paper plate thing. So first thing that what I'm gonna do is I am gonna pull off both left and right front wheels. That way we can just get that much more weight off of the front of the truck. It's a DB Pro with different body mounts, same. Right, it's a longer DB Pro mile high, right? That's what I saw. The Chevelle, ooh, the Chevelle Phaser is in stock at Tahoe Hobbies. Nice, man. That's a good catch. You're the crash dummy of RC's, Venom. Oh, that's awesome. The DB Pro you want? Dude, the DB Pro is awesome, man. Shade tree, just like I keep saying, just buy it. So, all right. I always use this wrench. This is actually a wrench from my Hobao MT2. And I think the reason why I like it is because it reminds me of what I would get when I would work on like my quads and stuff. You would have like this scenario of a wrench kit that was like under the seat. I like this style because then you can just pull this out and then just, you know, undo it by hand really quick. It's just what I use. So one of the big things that I had noticed was getting these wheels off is actually a bear, because the silt. So I'll show you in this wheel right here. The fine dust and silt really got inside of this hex right here and basically locked. I mean, this never got wet. This is all dry. But it technically impacted inside of this. So we've got a metal hex that move, and we've got a plastic rim that was probably flexing and basically packing in the dust and silt, making it not impossible, but it made it really tough to get these wheels off. I pretty much almost felt like I was going to throw out the center as I'm trying to like rock the wheel off. So you're going to see I'm going to take this off the bench, and I'll end up like being out of camera as I wrestle, you know, both front wheels off. Watch this come off, no problem. Nah, it's not going to come off, I can already tell. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. Basically, put the RC right here, put one foot on the other wheel, and basically just rip it off. You know what I mean? See all that fine dust and silt that's in there? All that brown that's in there? The tan? That makes it very, very difficult, man, to get these wheels off. So definitely ripping it in that area was definitely a bad idea. I am going to check the wheels to see if I have any cracks. I doubt it, because I feel that the plastic is flexible enough to not have any cracks on them. But you never know, man, because it has like these fin style things in here. Supposedly these aren't bad tires and wheels, from what I've been told. Now the same thing with this one, except I think I'm gonna have to step on it a different way. Look at that. There's actually an impression of the clip inside on the hub. Is that the same way on all of them? Yeah, the impression of that clip is on there. This tire, glue looks good. There's sand in it. This one I can't tell if there's sand in it, but what I did say that I wanted to do is I did want to check the balance. So nice rock strike right there. That's a pretty nice rock strike. So we'll check balance on these wheels and see what we've got. This is a wheel balancer. It's a factory team. It's a team associated wheel balancer. This is other ways to do this, but this is the way that I wanted to go, because you can balance so many different wheels with this little balancer. Basically, you just set it in, right? And then that little section basically guides itself and centers the wheel. Just like that. So this is pretty out of balance, which is why I was getting some major wheel flop. So sand actually will come out. I understand people, you know, think that if you poke the holes in it to vent the tire itself, that sand's not going to come out. It will. It's just not going to come out like water does. Water is actually a different kind of animal. Sand will come out. It's just definitely a different way of doing it. And if you're thinking about how to do this, you can actually get the sand out in a kind of a better way, meaning if you flex the tread so that you get like a valley, you can basically, wherever the hole is, you take the tire and basically just shake the sand down to wherever that bottom hole is or whatever. And then once you get to that bottom section, the sand should be able to come out. The other way is to use an air compressor and just very carefully blow inside of that hole while you're shaking it. Then the tire will slightly expand and you should be able to get some of the sand out. So the unknown is it sand inside the tire that's causing this to be massively out of balance? I don't know. But I just wanted to see what the balance of these tires were, because watching it go through the air and seeing basically the thing flexing while it was in slow-mo was pretty insane. Made me want to balance out these wheels. So same thing with this one. This one isn't as bad though. It is out of balance, but it's not as bad. And there's probably sand in this one as well. I mean, why wouldn't there be? Yeah, so if I did the holes and I basically just, you know, gave it a peek and just worked the sand all the way down, like I said, getting down to the bottom, I'll be able to get the sand out of the holes. Helping a little bit, like I said, with an air compressor, nice and light. Just get like one of those little nozzles that you can kind of just face towards that, and you'll get the air, you'll get the sand out. This tire right here, I don't remember if this was one of the ones I balanced or not. But I really do like the balancer. And I definitely recommend, like, if you're doing speed ripping, I believe this is actually the balancer that Earl Moorhead uses as well. And oh, it's not tight enough yet. This has got a good amount of something in it. So this has got a good amount of being out of balance. For it to want to spin that quick, it definitely has probably some kind of debris in there, or it's just basically out of balance. So, but this is all part of maintenance. This is all the stuff, like, for some strange reason, people aren't understanding that you gotta do, man. Maybe a vacuum? I don't think a vacuum would work unless you vacuumed out if you vacuumed it at the hole, but I think an air compressor would work pretty mint. But like I was saying, this is a wheel balancer from Factory Team, which is Team Associated. They're not that expensive. You cut the balancing clay. Yeah, you know, just go get one. I think it's worth it. Especially if you're going to be doing anything speed. Not that I know, but I will know. All right, so here we go. Now what I want to do is I'm going to start basically, I'm going to dismantle this front section, basically how I did the rear, separating these shocks from the lower arms, getting the shock tower, bumper, and all that stuff kind of out of the way, because this is that total teardown. So, yeah. At least now I know that I won't have to go for the backside to get those arms, and I know I can get the pieces from this side now. That was a learned process. And again, I've never taken one of these XMAXXs apart before, but it's just basic. You know, all this stuff is really basic. Just take your time and just look at it. That's all. So I'm gonna go after the bumper and that skid plate first. So this time I know, while it's this way, to pull those 2 top screws out of there. Grab myself a paper plate. And here's the thing too, right? If you grab yourself a paper plate, you can literally write on the paper plate where the parts came from. So let's just say you had a paper plate that said like front suspension or right side or left side or whatever. You just literally write on the paper plate what it is, you know? The paper plate thing is technically something I got from my grandfather. He used to leave notes for family members on paper plates. So like when he would, you know, take off and go somewhere, he would do the paper plate thing. So again, when at all possible, go ahead and just take fasteners and kind of put them, you know, back in their location. That way things don't get lost, or things get lost less. It's not even in shot. Nice. What a rookie. Yeah. I'm already going to lose stuff. Nice. Why am I doing it outside again? It's brighter out here. I am not going to mess with anything concerning shocks. The shocks are going to be left alone because that's more of a sealed situation unit where I don't feel that there's any issue concerning the shocks in any way. I mean, I can obviously check them for fluid, but yeah, they're mint. So now I'm going to go after these bolts right here, which are for the front bumper, upper stay, or whatever you want to call it, brace, support, whatever. Then you've got a couple more screws here that I want to grab. I also want to grab possibly a couple screws that are actually inside here. So it looks like the same thing basically as the front. It looks like it's the same thing, I mean, as what the rear was. So there's 4 screws there. Looks like 2 more screws right down in here, which is where the brace that goes from the shock towers to the servo area. See what I'm saying? Just take your screws and just go ahead. Make it easier for yourself putting it back together, and just kind of just throw them back into those holes. You don't have to settle them all the way in. Just throw them back. That's the way there's less memory. The older I get, the less memory I've got. So now I'm going after these screws that are part of that, like, chassis, brace, shock tower thing. These ones I'm going to leave out because that's all part of like this framework in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after the screws that are, you got a screw here, a screw here, a screw there, there, and then the same thing on that side right there. I'm just going to go after those right now just because I'm right here. Chainsaw, what's going on, guy? It's been a while. You can hear the grit. Sand. Two more screws up the front here. See, these are obviously a shorty. Now, I think that might be enough to pull. Nope, it's not yet. So now I have to flip the truck over, is what I'm seeing. I think I've got my top end screws out. I have to flip the truck over so I can gain access to the underneath portion to be able to pull that front skid plate and bumper and stuff off. So like that, I'm going to go after these screws here. Just pulling out rocks. Let's see. Here we go. So now the whole front bumper and skid plate comes across, or comes out. Got a little bit of sand in there. I expected that, but here's a good question. So we're almost coming across possibly the same scenario that we did before. Now, granted, I do feel that probably that back end was probably going to have more debris in it, but there is sand just sitting right here in that section, which you had to know that that was going to be there. With all the flex that this thing went through, you definitely know that that had to be there. So now it looks like we've got this upside down. I do want to go ahead and go after these 4 screws that are right here, which are part of what keep this front end connected to the chassis. But do I want to take off the front shock tower first? Let's just spin it, because I think it's only a couple screws. So we got 2 screws here. Obviously, that would take out like that brace and stuff. But I think just pulling, if I remember right, just pulling these two little caps that are down here. See these caps right here? I think if I just pull these little caps, I'll be able to pull the pins. Trying to remember. So those two screws got to come out. These two caps come off. That way I can always a damn stream dump out. Come on! Back again? YouTube is always killing me with the stream dump outs. Green Frog, what's going on, guy? Chris, what's happening, brother? How are you? So it looks like we got some same size fasteners here. Now, those are the smaller ones. And I also don't have my pick. Because I kind of really need a pick to get into there, I think. Just being distracted by some text messages. So I'll pop these little retainer screws out that hold those little caps on. Now I can go ahead and snag that pin, I hope. And here's the bad thing. Gotta be careful because all of a sudden it releases and all these screws can go flying onto the ground. Squeaky. Oh, that's the other thing that I should have done. You can always take these pins and throw them back into the shock holes. And see, you can take your little cap thing, put it back into place so you don't lose your place. Nice and easy, just boom, and you're done. Wow. So now this whole section should be able to come off. With sand kind of coming to the bottom here. First signs of sand. So now this should pop off. I think. So what's holding it back is the little servo plate. Just holding it back just a touch. But we can overcome. Now this is not looking that bad. There is a little sand in this little channel or in this pocket right here. Not too shabby. Now I'll be able to separate basically this, technically this whole front section from the chassis. I believe, I'm just checking to make sure I've got all the screws out that I needed gone. I think it's there. So the only thing that I'm looking at, what I will have to do is I will have to separate. There's a couple more screws, so there's 2 more screws that are down on this section here. So we gotta take these and throw these on the paper plate so we don't get lost here. So now we've got 2 screws, it looks like, down and in there. And then I think this will pop off, but I do need to separate the little, does the servo arm need to be separated from here? I think it does. I'm trying to see what is separate. It looks like this little section right here stays with the truck, which is where the servo and the receiver is. From what I'm seeing, I believe. So 2 more screws down here. Just lurking. What's up, man? That's right. I think everybody does that. Hard to believe it's a new XMAXX, right? It's a used one, actually. It's not new. It's used. At least now it's used. So I think I have to separate this little servo thing here. I believe. Let's see if I'm right. Now I think. Will this separate yet? I'm trying to see. Did I miss something? Nope. Just a little bit of prying because of the sand. I think it's coming. Feels like something's stopping it. So it actually does feel like I'm getting resistance somewhere here. So here comes some more sand, rocks. So it felt like I was getting resistance because I was. So what I did was I missed that step where I talked about it, but I actually didn't do it. So these 4 screws that are right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I talked about taking them off, but I never took them off. So that's why I was getting resistance. And that's why you need to also think about when you're doing this without instructions. Don't just get out your hammers and your pry bars and start breaking stuff. Give it a little bit of pressure and see what's going on. J.O., what's that? Oh no? the new Kyosho fell into your shopping cart? Uh-oh. You just got to be careful you don't press that buy it now. You know, your finger might just graze that button. So once I release these 4 screws, these last 2 screws here, then the truck will experience its second round of separation anxiety. There we go. All right, so those 4 screws are out. Those are the ones that I pointed out that you had to take out, and I just forgot. So now it should basically separate. I hope. Let's flip it upside down. Get a better visual. Servo. Hey, what's that? Looks like the XMAXX lost another earring. Another bearing down. Almost seems like I'm missing something here. That's disconnected. Could be just sand. But it does feel like I still have resistance here. So that means I'm missing something else as far as a screw goes. Something is holding this together. And it's in like this location somewhere here. So I do actually see... Do I? There is something right there. And I think that's where it's coming from. So see right there? That screw or that little circle right there? That's most likely the back side of one of these. That's preventing that from coming up, because as I press on it, I can see that it's wanting to be loose all around the entire truck, except for that one center section right there. So there is a screw right there, which that is probably the culprit, I think. I don't know. I am making just a guess. But that probably is it. And it most definitely is it. Because so looks like that. It's almost as if this brace, because it's connected to the servo, it's almost as if this brace like needs to be released. Oh, there's 2 screws hiding maybe. All right, so there's something right here. There is a screw. It's as if this plate is stopping separation. This is kind of how it feels. So I'm just going to pop this screw out just to see what happens. I can put it back in if it's not the issue. Okay. So that is what it was. what it was there is a bearing that was being retained by this plate. So now it should come apart. Ready? You ready? Hey, look at that. Easy peasy. Check it out. Done. Now we get access to the Traxxas Servo. Let's just slide this out of the way just for a sec, just to get a look. I'm going to just for now, I'm going to put that one screw back, because that's just a tiny one. Put that back in place. And I'll also take that screw and put that back in place. That way I just, you know, we're talking a lot of screws here right now. So now this is obviously the center chassis. The center portion of the truck. And what's great, what I'm noticing right away, is there was really no sand infiltration in this area whatsoever. There's a little bit of dust, but you kind of have to expect that. That bearing feels mint. So basically just blowing off all of this with an air gun will basically help. Look at that servo, man. That thing's got a heat sink on it. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, it looks good. I don't see any, I really don't see much garbage. I really don't see much garbage like in this area of the chassis, that's pretty good. Because that is definitely a flex zone. And you can see, you know, you got boulders and stuff keeping gaps. Like in that piece right there, you see the gap. Obviously there's a boulder stuck in there. So flex it and get it out of there. Same thing on this side. Flex it, get it out of there. All right, so there we go. Center chassis. Everything's all set with this. Framework, everything looks fine. I'm not seeing any issues whatsoever. No issues really with this, except that you can see that the sand or the silt was getting in there. All these parts can be washed, you know, that way things stay just, you know, nice and clean when I'm put it back together. Do not put this stuff in your dishwasher. If you're going to eat off of your plates and drink from your cups and use the silverware, do not put your parts in the dishwasher, especially if it has grease. A piece like this, yeah, maybe. But anything that has grease, don't do it. You're better off putting it in your washer machine with your whites. Does anybody really have any whites anymore? I know I don't. All right. So that's the sand from that. I'm going to clean the slate. Now, obviously, all of this stuff is all going to have to be cleaned. There is sand inside the pocket where the bearing is right there, so all that stuff needs to be cleaned. Air compressor will probably be your best friend doing something like this, you know, is my theory. Usually I use like a rubber mallet to tap things, but I don't have one right now. Not really much came out, so now what I will go after is we're going to take apart, or we're going to take off this front cover, but I think I actually do want to see I do want to see the differential, but I want to see this bottom cover too, though. I want to see what's going on there, because I'm seeing a lot of, you know, obviously, because when you see that this is happening, you know that that's fluid weeping out of the plastic, which is why the sand is kind of collecting there. So, and then granted, that's only where those pins are, so it shouldn't be an issue. But I want to take out that one last screw that's holding that plate on. I think that's the only screw that's holding that on. And then we'll take off this front cover. And then, depending upon which way is the best way to take these link arms off, yeah, you can hear sand. There's grit. Seems like it's underneath here. So, that side will pop off. This side, does that pop off? Not sure. Not sure what's holding that side on. Almost seems as though it might be something underneath. I'll have to check that out. It's a big button. It's easy to hit accidentally. Right. All right. So let's flip this upside down again. So there is a hole there. So there might be a fastener inside of that hole. I just can't see. No. No, definitely not. All right, so we got this screw to take off. There was a lot of sand underneath the other one. And it doesn't seem like there's much sand under this one, which I kind of expected that, to not really have sand under this one, because this was the front leading edge one. The assumption that I had was that there really wouldn't be anything in this one. So let's see. Hey, look at that, I was right. So really nothing inside of there. We'll just find maybe a couple pebbles. Something, feels like something is holding this on there. This one. This one's loose. This one's coming off. But this side, it's like something is there, holding it in place. Oh, dirt. That's what was holding it in place. Just some dirt. All right. Ah, it's got a tapered. So it's a taper. That's what holds it on. It's like a coned, tapered thing. So we're good there. I'll put that screw back in that little cone thing. Now I want to take off this front cover, and like what we saw before, that's 5 screws, or is it 5? Yeah, I think it's 5. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think that center one right there. Sergeant J, what's going on, brother? How are you? All right, let's get this cover off. All right, so yes, definitely a good idea that we're taking this apart. I can definitely see little to no lubrication in there. That'll be squared away. And obviously the only thing that really bypassed was basically that diamond dust is what people were calling it. So we've got a diamond dust infiltration in there. Totally 100% expected. I know there's not going to be anything wrong with this because, yeah. So the front differential, way better than the rear. There is a little bit of play in this diff, like loose play, which is probably fine. I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to do a very exterior light cleaning with this. We'll just hit it with a very quick little douse of brake clean. Clean it all up. And we'll obviously clean all of this up as well. I'm going to separate this suspension. I'm going to get some paper towels. Where are we here? So, take these little pin brace things out. That can come out that way. A couple screws over here. That'll take out this top piece, I think. Looks like that's like a top plate, maybe. I think. Let's see what this is. Green Frog, thank you for that. Very kind of you. definitely looks like that is a separate piece, and it is. It's just, am I missing something? Looks like there's 2 screws right here and here on the bottom side. So let's check that out. It's like a tarantula. This thing's a tarantula now. So yes, 2 screws, one there, one there. These pins can come off. Slide these out, I believe. Should be able to slide these out. No, I can't. Gotta take the pins out. What am I talking about? Take the pins out. Then I can slide it out. Boy, that was a... We call that a bonehead maneuver. Now we can take this and slide that pin out. Maybe with a hammer. That's when you need like a couple of hands here. Watch out for the iPad. JORC, thank you, man. Rally car paint. Dude, thank you. Rally car paint. You know what? I already have a color scheme, man. I think you're gonna like it. I have a color scheme for it. I think it's gonna be liked. Now these will come out. Yay. Perfect. Get that away. Beautiful. I believe these pins are the same exact thing. Yes, they are. Nice. Get that little gear thing out of there. So now, obviously, the only thing that we need to clean on this is we'll need to clean the servo stuff here and check these bearings. This bearing right here seems all right. This bearing right here is actually okay. One of these have lost their retainer clip, which it looks like it is this one right here, lost its little earring right here. And most likely with the condition of this thing, it's pointless putting it back in. So, are there upgraded front hubs? Does anybody know? Upgraded front hubs? So this is all set. Now, once I take those screws out, I'll be able to... Actually, no, those aren't screws. What is that? Oh, no, there's 2 more screws right there. One there and one there. That's what it is. There's nothing left to it. I think it's just... There we go. So it looks like that bearing did its job. That one goes there. That one obviously goes there. And this bearing did its job from stopping debris from coming in. You see there's nothing in that channel. Is a very minor amount of silt again, just in these areas right here, but we already knew that this was going to happen. So now all this stuff just needs to be cleaned. And yeah, I can just throw this thing back together and then give my one finger wave to Traxxas and then be done. Robbie's RC, how are you? Everything is actually looking pretty good. Obviously a little bit of scraping right here, but that's just from, just from probably slapping and material being in there and the arm just scraping. All this stuff is just totally normal. Same thing here. Totally normal to see all those scrapes in there. Yeah, I think we're good. Traxxas XMAXX, 100% disassembled. Disassembled basically for maintenance. So make sure you wear gloves. So that's it. It actually wasn't that bad. I didn't expect the front to be as bad as the rear, because you all know that, basically all the debris was going towards the back of the RC. Am I upset? No, I'm not. Look at what I did to this thing. Should the bearings have blown out on the first run? No. 100% no. Should my motor have slop on that forward bearing? No. That's a defect. So what I did uncover was, number one, my motor is 100% defective. I know what I'm looking at. The rear bearings, no, those should not have blown out that quick. One run. And it wasn't even, you know what's funny is I didn't even notice that the bearings were blowing out. I didn't notice that the seals were blowing out. The guy, Mark, that guy Mark, the CC Lightning Bolt RC, Crawler, what's the name of his thing? Well, he owns Shutter Thugs, but what's the name of his channel? Crawler Conspiracies, I think, or something like that, or I'm probably getting it wrong. But it was CC with a lightning bolt, and I don't know how you search that, but it was Crawler something RC. I can't remember. It's probably, he gave me a business card. It's probably on his card, but that's in my truck. But yeah, he does merch and logos, and he's a graphic artist and a former, I think, retired musician kind of thing. So he knows his way around, I guess, the industry. So, but yeah, I'm not sad. Does my motor need to be warranted? Well, I guess that's up to Traxxas and maybe Reckless Hobbies. But from I'm not a machinist, but from a mechanic's standpoint, 100% yes, because the motor shaft is defective. So that's what pisses me off. So I'd rather just send them a video of the motor shaft and all this other crap instead of sending my motor and my ESC out. Why do they need my ESC? If it's my motor that's defective because the motor shaft was turned down too far, what do they need the ESC for? Oh, that's right, because they wanted to make sure that it was having proper power output or something. I have no idea. Maybe if there's a way that they can, like, let's just say these ESCs have data loggers. You know what would be awesome? Is for the fact that Traxxas will see I only ran 2 packs through this brand new XMAXX. That's what they'll see. So anyways, how is everybody doing? Robbie. Sergeant J, you doing good? Two Ritter F5 waiting on parts. Waiting on parts for what? UPS keeps changing dates. Or USPS, right? Yeah. Oh, a Nomad. Nice. Yeah, Senator flew up. 20 packs, right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I did rip the XMAXX. All the maintenance is deserved. Definitely 100%. But bearings blowing out. First rip? No. Nope. And Traxxas to point blank say that they know nothing of that situation. Yeah, okay, guy. Whatever. And then maybe the motor shaft itself. That I think I could understand. It's not like Traxxas checks every single part themselves. They just have the vehicles built somewhere else and some sweatshop or something. Maybe I don't know how Traxxas does their stuff, but however Traxxas has their stuff built or whatever. It's just sad that, you know, certain kinds of quality control just isn't there, and it is what it is, right? But to be quite honest with you, like I said before, we the people are the ones that are keeping these companies in business, and at some point in time, these companies need to be put in check. So it's not supposed to be just all about, you know, whoever has the most money as far as a company goes. It's also supposed to be about customer service. So, whatever. Thank you, Traxxas. You guys are awesome. But I will say, though, the XMAXX is a tough truck, man. I'm not a Traxxas hater. I just don't like the fact that the words the guy was spewing out of his mouth saying that they believe, how did he word it? He very correctly worded it. And I get it. I do get it. We will basically what he said without being able to properly say what his words were. That's why I'm like staring off into space. I'm trying to remember exactly what the words were that he used. But it was something along the lines of, you know, since you got it from your hobby store, why your best scenario is to contact them for warranty support. And I did kind of like did like a double take, like, you know, like, what? I thought calling Traxxas was the better way to go. My LHS doesn't want to deal with this crap. You know what I mean? It's like, my LHS, what they want to do is they want to sell you the product and have you be happy with the product they sold you. They don't want to have to do warranty junk. That's extra work that they have to do. They already did their work. You know what I mean? They provided the product. I walked in the door. I gave them, you know, whatever, and they did their job. Their job is not about providing me with warranty service. It is what it is. You know, like I said, they've got enough to do. You know, but Traxxas, on the other hand, they shouldn't have told me that my LHS was the better avenue. Man, I wish I recorded the conversation. I think that's what I have to do from now on. Do like a little recording disclaimer and go, this call is being recorded for training purposes. I wonder what the person on the other end would say, because what can we say? You know? Oh, I'm sorry. The call's being recorded for quality. Something about quality and training purposes. Yeah. Well, that should go both ways. So, yeah, right? So when somebody kind of is having a bad day and their customer service, they're going to make sure that they keep their bad day in check and remember that you're a customer that just paid a couple of bucks for a product. I don't know, whatever. I'm just complaining. What are you saying, RC enthusiast? What? You blew 2 motors on your XMAXX and Traxxas sold you both motors for $130. All they asked me to do is send back the motors. Right. Well, you know what, GRC? No, the customer isn't always right. I've actually never believed that myself. Nah. When you're on the other end, I don't go with that. Because that gives too much. That gives too much leeway to the customer to be potentially deceptive. And I'm not saying that all customers are deceptive, but if you had the thought in your mind that every customer that calls is telling the truth, I told the guy, I ripped it. I ripped it through 2 packs. I said the first pack that I ripped it through, the bearings started to go, the seals. I said I didn't know exactly what it was. I didn't, to be quite honest with you. I wasn't exactly sure what I was looking at. I knew it was some kind of something. Whatever. Right? It is what it is. Live and learn, you know? But the XMAXX, again, I will reiterate, is a very tough truck. Yeah, it's a tough truck. It took some abuse, man. It took it like a champ. How did I all of a sudden Def Leppard song just came into my mind when I said took it like a champ? Isn't it like a Def Leppard song? I forget how it goes. Or is that looking like a tramp? Maybe that's looking like a tramp. Maybe that's what it is. I think it's like looking like a tramp or looks like a tramp. Like a video vamp. Something. I can hear like the song. I just don't know the exact words, so I'm not going to make an idiot out of myself trying to say words I have no idea what it is. So yeah, your 1 run in with Traxxas support was paying free, right? That's great. You know, this is only my 3rd run in with Traxxas. My first run in with Traxxas was because of the Traxxas Max having it was either the motor fan or the ESC failure. I think it was the motor fan failure. And I actually did a video that showed why the motor fans were I showed why the motor fans were having issues, or at least my batch number potentially was having issues. So I did a video on that. Traxxas, that was a no problem. I mean, the fans only cost a penny, So they definitely sent that out right away. My next run-in was with the Traxxas MAXX again. It was pretty soon after. And my wheels were cracking. And then obviously, you know, being part of YouTube and being online, what's the first thing you do? You type in Traxxas MAXX wheels cracking or something like that. Or cracked wheels Traxxas MAXX. And then what did I come across? Came across the fact that it wasn't just me having these cracking issues. Now, I never ran the thing into a brick wall. I never ran the thing into, you know, I never launched it onto the pavement, you know, at 1,000 miles per hour at 500 feet in the air. I believe that my wheels, which was why I called, I believe that my wheels were failing because of not necessarily all 100% driving. I believe there was a defect, which is the reason why I called. I could care less. The reason why I called about this Traxxas XMAXX was because of the motor shaft end play. That was number one. Number two was just the bearings, because it's a known issue. So, whatever. Traxxas basically gave me the one finger solution, so basically they'll get that back from me. So they want me to pay however much it was. And even the way the guy explained, because I was actually very courteous, that's how I am on the phone, and I just very politely said, after he told me to put in, how do you say it? He says to put in the motor and the ESC. I don't even know why they need the ESC, but whatever. Put in the motor and ESC into a box and send it out to us. We'll send you the RMA or RAM or whatever. They really rammed it to me, but anyways, whatever. RMA, I think it's called. And it's just return authorization, something. And what I very nicely said, because I had no idea, as I said, who's responsible for paying? And he says, well, you are. And I said, okay. And I said, well, you obviously know where I live. I don't know where I'm sending the package. Do you have any idea of potentially what it's going to cost me to send it out? And that's when, you know, his like little attitude came out a little bit thicker. And he just said, well, you can just go to your local USPS, grab one of those boxes and throw it in there and send it to us. Oh, throw it in there and send it to us for $6. I'm probably not wording it exact. I do like to try and word things exact. But with the way he said it kind of like with a flip way. I was just wanting to know. I have no idea how much it's going to cost me. You know where I live. You've got my address. I don't know where I'm sending this. So when he kind of got flip, then I kind of said, you know, well, you know, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on here, but if I throw, you know, potentially $300, and I said $300 worth of electronics. I have no idea what Traxxas charges for that stuff. It's probably only $10 to them. But if I throw $300 worth of electronics into the $6 box, shouldn't I like insure it? Because if by chance it gets lost in the mail, then what? You know what I mean? And then he goes, yeah, that would probably be wise. And I just was like, all right. And I literally just ended the conversation right there. And I just said, well, you know what, Zach, thank you very much for being helpful. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And that was it. So, whatever. My half of the call was not recorded. Theirs is, so they can eat it. I'm sorry. I'm just a little irritated, that's all. It is what it is. No big deal. Who cares? I'm just being a wine bag. But anyways, yeah. So now that I'm done wine bagging and complaining about my Traxxas XMAXX, what else is going on? Anything good? Does anybody else have anything coming? Because obviously we know that, you know, ARRMA did the whole 3S line revamp. Does anybody got a new vehicle coming from ARRMA? Is anybody on board with that laser nut? That seems like a pretty good truck. It'll definitely be nice to know, seeing that that basically is a stretched Tenacity. Well, I'll just say a stretched Tenacity DB Pro. It's just like a slightly bigger Tenacity DB Pro. I already, like I brought out, I already see one issue, which attempting to square that away, like before the vehicle comes, have things like in line and ready to take care of inherently the issue that I potentially see coming. Robbie's RC, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that. Definitely appreciated. Italians RC, what's going on, guy? RC Rorschach, what is going on, brother? How are you? You thinking about getting the big rock? Right. Yep. Yep. That's coming to the channel. So, big rock's coming. Outcast 8S is coming. The laser nut's coming. So there's a couple vehicles coming to the channel. The other thing too is, I think now that my Traxxas XMAXX is down, now it's probably time to focus on my EXB. So we'll focus on the EXB now. Oh yeah, and the Gen 8 Axe Edition. We'll get that video out there. Hang in there, guy. I'm fine, man. Yeah, the laser nut does look sweet. It really does. Does anybody else? So watching Tony's video, I saw one thing that I did not like about the design of the vehicle. And I'm wondering if anybody else kind of, it's very obvious. You know what you'll call it? I'll call it a tail dragger. It's definitely a tail dragger. In order for that, and it's a rock racer. I know it's a rock racer. I know it's not designed to do what I'm going to do to it, but I'm still going to do it. That's why it needs a modification. And it still has 12 millimeter hexes, right? Doesn't the laser nut have 12 millimeter hexes? So did somebody already say? The live Haxel? What's going on? You have a Gen 8? Yeah, I know. I have a Gen 8 that's about a year old now. Laser Night is nice, but I'm not dropping close to 5 on a new LOSI. I'm waiting for the new solid. Right. But J.O., but that's obviously that's what you really like. Brian P. Bam. Yeah, it's a wicked tail dragger. That's definitely going to be the first thing that's gone, and we are going to throw a wing on that. I am definitely a Tenacity DB Pro open wheeled like buggy type of guy. Having the extended wheelbase is going to be nice, I think, but when you look at the real laser nut, and then you look at the the LOSI rendition, obviously the tires are massive. The tires are way bigger than, and again, this is my own opinion from what I saw. The tires are obviously not part of that scale thing, because they're probably just restricted to whatever. But I think once that rear tire is gone, I feel that thing is gonna do and hopefully perform just like the DB Pro. Man, I'm looking forward to it. Plus, being 4S out of the box, yep, absolutely. We'll get a motor fan on there too. Maybe if there's enough room, throw a game changer motor fan on there. I know my Tenacity needs it, so, but yeah. 16 tooth. Right. If you, yeah, but Earl, you obviously know how to counteract that. But when you looked at, I don't know if you saw Tony's video, the thing was butt dragging big time. And I think on Harley's video, just about every jump that he hit and landed, all you heard was rear end. So you heard the rear end literally dragging, and I definitely could not deal with a vehicle like that. You know, I understand the whole scale, whatever, but I'm gonna put a wing on it. And I think that's definitely gonna be the way to go. Just adjust the shocks, whatever. Earl's got the speed bump to adjust shocks. Speed jump, sorry. Earl's got the speed jump for adjusting shocks. The COVID jump. Where every slow-mo jump on that speed jump, whatever you want to call it. There's got to be a video. My mailman just like totally blew by like all the mailboxes on the right-hand side of the road. Yeah, well, I want to know what your thoughts are on that laser nut. It looks like a nice vehicle. The center diff is aluminum as well, which is nice. No, it's messed up. Here's what I don't get. What am I doing? How do I word this? What am I doing wrong that I haven't blown out my center diff like a lot of other people? Am I not driving my DB Pro hard enough? Because I feel like I am. I'm still on the stock 2S pinion, running it on 3S, running it on bigger tires and wheels. I just beat the snot out of it doing XMAXX jumps with it and Mojave jumps, and my DB Pro is fine. Like, do I have like the unicorn one that's just not breaking? Neil, you say it looks like a very well balanced LOSI, right? Are you talking about the laser nut? What do I think of a 16-tooth pinion on your Gen 7 Pro? Well, mine's actually different, so I actually don't remember what my Gen 7 Pro was stock, because that was the second thing that I blew was the transmission. So I bought an all metal transmission for it for like 30 bucks. And it has a slipper clutch. So I don't remember what my setup is right now. But I do know I was 3S. But Neil, I'm assuming you're talking about, yeah, okay. Yeah, the laser nut does look like a nice vehicle. Does look like what they call a nice rig. I just don't want that spare tire on the back. I don't need scale. I need a wing. Because that thing's gonna... Was it Sugar Ray? Or was it what the other guy's name there? Was it Muhammad Ali? Float like a butt, or was no? Who did the thing that said float like a butterfly, sting like a bee? I forget who said that. You're on 4S? Right. That's crazy, man. A Gen 7 on 4S. Cassius Clay, there you go. Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Right. I thought it was Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to visually see. Yeah, it definitely was Muhammad Ali. Right. Now I can see it. How do you get the driver figures in the UDR? How do you get them in? Yeah, Cassius to Ali, right. How do you get them out? Very difficultly. It's like 50 screws. Sugar tried to fight like Ali, yeah. I don't even remember. He knock you out for calling him that? Mother of God. Bandit trying to build 50 screws guy. Sam and Sarah, what's going on, guy? Oh, did anybody answer what if the laser nut was a 12 millimeter thing there? I actually downloaded the schematics. Whack, right. Oh, you think the LaserNet has 17s? No way. Does it really? LOSI, wait a minute. I've got it actually downloaded. Where did I put it? Oh, I actually downloaded the PDF of it. LOSI laser, come on. LOSI LaserNet. It's actually better to go on the LOSI site. I think it's faster. LOSI LaserNet. This one right here. Bang. And then parts, accessories. parts listing. Wheel hex, tenacity, all. It is a. It's not even saying. It looks like 12. It's actually not even saying what it is. It's not saying what size it is. But it looks like a 12. See what I'm saying? That looks really small. Normally with the pin size like that and the hex size, that's a 12. So this still retaining the 12 hex. See that? Pretty confident. Pretty confident that's a 12. That's crazy. The wheels are pretty sharp though, aren't they? I do like that bronze color on the wheels. It does look pretty nice. Parts finder. They don't have any upgrades, huh? Buy it today. Buy it today, but receive it like 2 months from now. What's that thing? What's that thing? I'll pay you Tuesday for a cheeseburger today or something like that. Wimpy? Is that Wimpy? Wimpy that used to say that or something? I'll pay you today for a cheeseburger. No. I'll pay you Tuesday for a cheeseburger today. I think that's what one of his sayings. Right, at 12 to 17 hex. Right, nice. Those are the short course wheels. Short course style wheel. Obviously to clear all the suspension on the inside. And then just to give you like that look, I guess it gives you the look on the outside. Right, Wimpy. So it was Wimpy, right. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Right, Eric, right. I wanted a burger so bad yesterday. Oh! Does anybody know? Or actually, because obviously I do the StreamYard. StreamYard just had an upgrade. So, we're gonna be seeing some more StreamYard stuff from RC Guy Garage. Check that out. It's a nice little nick right there. That's a digger right there. That's a chunk out. They call that a digger. Right, to clear everything, right. Clear the suspension stuff. Bandit, yes. 100%, man. Been there, done that. Dude, you need like 6 paper plates to take apart and organize the screws, taking the body and cage and everything apart. Maybe let's put it this way. Bandit, video yourself doing it so that you can put everything back in its place. It's definitely a lot of screws, man. Not kidding, it's like 50 screws. but all I want to do is get the guys out. Yep, 50 screws. A Gen Ital, an Italian Generation 8. You're too annoyed? What? I'm too annoyed to film myself? Yeah, but you know what? If you film yourself, you're not filming yourself. You'll be filming yourself taking apart the UDR. And that way, like, if you, like, keep it, you know, panned out enough, you can know where you place each screw. Because some screws are longer than others. You do want to pay attention to that. And because the entire cage is, obviously, you know, entire cage is plastic. So be very careful using the fasteners, putting it back together. Because it's technically flexible plastic, it can strip out way too easy. Robbie's rally car build. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that. Holy smokes. Robbie's RC, you are awesome, man. Thank you. Rally car build. Yeah, actually, you know what? We are going to get on that. There's so much, man. This RC hobby actually can become really insane. Earl definitely has a certain way of being able to be organized. I don't. I've never been organized. But it seems to seemingly work for me. But with all the RCs, with all the breakages, with all the repairs, with all the filming, even doing the lives and all that stuff, I was, you know, having a conversation with a couple of people, and I said that, you know, I love doing these lives because, you know, and I say we get the talk. Obviously, it's me just doing all the talking, but obviously you guys are here too because you're talking on the keyboard. So it's kind of the same thing in a way. But what I was saying was that the lives are difficult because it's a one-ended conversation in a sense. So I've got to kind of like come up with something that makes sense to do the live on, so it's not, you know, super lame, because a lot of times doing the lives are tough if you don't have anything to talk about. Like how do you jump on and just talk about nothing? Like, I mean, we'll talk about nothing eventually. You know, we'll you know, obviously we'll rip into the XMAXX and we'll clean it all up, and then we'll talk about, you know, grilling burgers and hot dogs on the grill and having a couple iced teas and, you know, what kind of potato salad people like. You know, we'll do that eventually. My wife will make me a breakfast sandwich and she'll bring it out and everybody's salivating because now they want a breakfast. Did you see that? That was a riot. So Earl Moorhead, right? After seeing my wife's breakfast sandwich that she brought out, it made him so hungry, he actually made a breakfast bagel sandwich. That's what I showed the little video of it. He made a breakfast bagel sandwich because it made him that hungry. That was a riot. And that is the power of YouTube, right? When you think about it. Even like a couple of people, and that's what, all right, so I'll get close to the camera so you understand what I'm getting at. Don't be afraid to buy the Traxxas XMAXX. It is a very, very good truck. Just watch my video. I'm not trying to promote my videos, but yes, I am. Watch what I did to that thing. And for that thing to walk away with only a slipped pinion, that's nothing. I mean, some of that driving was very haphazard. Full speed, like, I mean, if you didn't see the video, go watch it, man. I treated that XMAXX like its new name, trash bag. So you are still here. Popcorn movie sandwich in the morning, right? Right. Bandit Darnville, be very afraid to buy a UDR. No, actually, no. Man, you know what? The UDR is. Ah. What's really cool about the UDR is its scale driving. Traxxas got that and that's why I'm not against Traxxas. So please don't think like I'm like against Traxxas and I hate them and all this other stuff. But concerning my XMAXX, I am having a little bit of an attitude problem now. Because of the way they handled my situation with the XMAXX, that is why I've got a little bit of a Traxxitude. That's what I've got. I got a Traxxitude now. That's the only reason why. Other than that, my UDR, I love that thing. If you can, if you're into filming, does this guy think he's living in the North End here? You know what I'm talking about, Italian RC. My neighbor, he's like yelling like he's an Italian. Hey, Anthony! But anyways, the only thing you are against is the bright. Yes. Bandit Darnville, yes. Yeah, right. Earl, yep. Bandit Darnville, Earl, absolutely. Yes. Bad Traxxas. Again, Traxxas knew what they were doing. They were trying to create a really good scale vehicle, and they did. 100% hands down. You want to talk about a vehicle that films amazingly? It seems like anywhere I place a camera on that, other than the rear bumper, that's how I lost one of my GoPros. Don't do that. Anywhere you place a camera on that UDR, and the footage you get is insane because it's technically like nice and open. You know, if you have a camera facing the back, you got those grasshopper legs like going. You got the shake of the spare tires. If you can do an internal camera, you can get the suspension actuating. It's just like, if you want to talk about a vehicle that can show you how scale it drives, it is a rollover monster. But if you learn how it likes to be driven, man, the straight line oh my God. For the type of suspension that it is, the Traxxas UDR on a straight line, like on that type of terrain that the UDR needs to be on, man, it hovers across the terrain. I mean, yeah, if the bumps get too nasty, it can, you know, get out of hand, but that's any RC. It's maybe not as resilient as the Mojave, but the ARRMA Mojave, I call it Mojave. I call it both, but it's the Mojave. That Mojave, man. Reason why I bought that was because of the Traxxas UDR. I saw that had independent suspension, and I thought to myself, wow, less rollovers. And it still rolls. It still rolls, but it depends upon what kind of bite you've got in a turn. Anything's going to roll. You know what I mean? But the UDR, just its scaleness about it. It's scale driving. That straight line, wide open throttle, and those tires are just soaking up everything. The rear suspension is soaking up all of those bumps. It's incredible. Really, really well-designed vehicle, Traxxas. But Traxxas, the XMAXX, and those rear bearings, no, what's wrong with you guys? Traxxas, have a chip. Earl, nice. Right. Yep. And like again, the only reason why I'm ticked off is just because of how they handled the situation with the XMAXX. That's all. Because obviously they don't know. They're probably thinking I've got 2,000 battery packs through it. So I don't even think that's even possible in that short a time. And I even said that to the guy. I'm like, I get where you guys are coming from. And I said, but I'm here right now telling you that I've got 2 packs run through this thing. My rear bearings are blown out. My motor shaft has end play on it, which should not happen. And what are you guys going to do about it? So, and when they said your best course of action is to contact your LHS and see if they consider it a warranty, whatever. I know it's messed up, but I literally don't even want to waste my time. I really don't. Let's put it this way. I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste Sean's time. How about that? I'll be in that sense. Because I know he doesn't want to waste his time warrantying something that is, you know, a joke. You know? The motor costs what? Traxxas $5? Send me a $5 motor. You know? Whatever, guys. You get your motors for $5. Send me a $5 motor. Send me, you know, 5 cent bearings, 2 cent bearings, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just an ant compared to the amounts of money that you guys make. But what I will say is I think Traxxas is having financial issues. That's just a guess. It's just a guess. I don't think ARRMA's having financial issues. I'll tell you that right now, man. No, sir. I'm not a baseball player, but ARRMA right now, wham! ARRMA is hitting. Well, is there a problem with the EXP? Yeah. That's all right, though. I think Earl Moorhead might have squared it away. But, are there issues with the EXP? Yes. Nothing's perfect. I don't even care. I still think ARRMA's hitting it out of the park. ARRMA. How do you spell ARRMA? A-M-A-H-A? ARRMA? There's no R in ARRMA. There's no R in ARRMA. It's 2 R's. You can't even say that. Right, barbecue. What? Your ARRMA Sentin 6S made rear bearings. Did the same thing. Made earrings for the rear. Right, dog bones. Nice. Right. ARRMA has an army of test people fixing the bed. Right. Absolutely. That's why people are called the ARRMA Army. Right. I don't know. I just feel like ARRMA right now is more along the lines of pushing those limits, pushing the threshold. I feel like ARRMA / Horizon is making or taking steps to potentially make people happy, except for the phone service. Horizon Hobby, you guys have got to square away your phone service, man. We all know what you're doing. We all know that you've got these calls on a timer, and who in their right mind is going to stay on the phone for like an hour and 40 minutes? This guy right here. Because I'm just going to put you right on my desk, and I'm going to edit a video while I wait for that hour and 20 to hour and 40 minutes, where most everybody else, Earl included, hangs up after 58 minutes. And he just says, forget it. I'm not wasting any more time here. But because I'm editing a video, it really doesn't matter to me. You know, just have the phone just sitting right there behind the computer. It is a little annoying. And then just edit a video. It takes like 2 hours to edit a video. Edit a video, and by the time that 2 hours is up, you might have your answer from Horizon. So it works out, right? They kill that, kill. I don't like that saying. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't want to kill any animals. What else can we say? Gotta be politically correct. Kill 2 stones with 1 bird? I don't know. Just reverse it, make it sound better. Italians RC, you'll get an... you know what's funny? Is I call it a typhoon also, but obviously it's called a typhon. And I forget who told me that. But the whole time when I did that giveaway for my channel, I was calling it the typhoon or whatever. And somebody was like, I think it's called the typhon. And I was like, yeah, I know. It just looks like typhoon. RC Kai Garage is a Traxxas non-fanboy now. Yeah. No, I never was a fanboy. You know that. I'm a fanboy of... Well, I do like Jaguar, but I'm a fanboy of, obviously, Chevy, Ford, Mopar. You know, the big heavy hitters. Those are the ones that I'm a fanboy of. There's no specific brand that I'm, you know, keyed in on. I do like brands. Obviously, I do like ARRMA. I do love LOSI. I do love Hobao. And I know I said love. I love ARRMA too. It's just I don't have enough ARRMAs yet to have that, you know, have that experience. I haven't got the ARRMA experience yet. So I only have 2 ARRMAs, right? I'll have 4, but I only have 2. So I have the Mojave and the EXB. Then it's going to be the Outcast 8X. Oh, yes, Outcast 8X, the Big Rock, Big Black, and then obviously LOSI, the Laser Nut. How many LOSIs do I have? Did I already say 4 or 5, something like that? I do actually have a couple Traxxas vehicles. I got a T-Max and E-Max, UDR, Max, XMAXX. Is that it? I think that's all I've got for Traxxas. Yeah, something like that. They're good vehicles. They are. In their own, you know, whatever. Kind of a bummer though, huh? Do I just keep ripping the XMAXX and just say screw it about the warranty? Because I won't be able to run it. I think that's the only thing that's bugging me. I won't be able to run the XMAXX. You'll be in love. Yeah, I you know what? Sergeant J, I very highly suspect that I will. I definitely feel that Outcast 8S is going to be like an eye-opener for me. I think I'm going to thoroughly enjoy that truck. Right. Earl owns every Traxxas and ARRMA. No. Earl actually owns double the amounts that he says he owns. Because every vehicle that he's got a second one. Whenever Earl orders something, he buys it in pairs. That way he can have a bone stock Shelf Queen and a full-on modified Beast. That's the way Earl rolls. Right, Earl has a serious addiction. He does. It's a good, but it's a good addiction, though. You know what I mean? It's definitely a good addiction. Mike Jernak, funny. Had you on in the store and someone said you from Boston, right? You mean me? Only two if you like it. Yeah, right. Yeah, I was just going to say that. If you didn't say the Creighton, I was just going to say that. That is a vehicle that I 100% know you are not satisfied with stock. That thing stock was so boring. It was just like, what is that? Right. Right. Italians RC, absolutely. A very healthy addiction. Right. Kind of. It could still get you in trouble, though. When he's going to open a showroom, right? Art gallery. Yup. Eventually. I will say the Traxxas XMAXX shocks don't look like they're having an issue. The dog bones appear straight. Or CVs, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, all that stuff seems fine. Keeping you sober over 8 months? Nice. Need a bigger house, right? You don't need a bigger house. You need a warehouse. You're leaving out a word. Warehouse, not house. You can live in a trailer and have a warehouse. Just get a fifth wheel. Get a fifth wheel that you can pull inside of the warehouse, and I guarantee you'd be good. Right, you're okay at 10 scale, but when 5th scale, right, takes up room, it does. Coming soon, Earl's Compton Hobbies, right? You need another DBXL? No, you don't. Get out of there. You already have 3 of them. Don't you have 3? You've got the original. All right, so if I remember right, you've got a gas. You have an original version 1, and you have the 2.0. So you've already got 3. You don't need another one. Scruffy Page, what's going on, guy? Good morning to you as well. What time are we looking at? We're already looking at 12:40. How long has the stream been going on for? 2.5 hours. Wow. All right. Hate to cut it short, but probably what I'm going to end up doing is right when it goes to 2.5 hours, I'm going to end the live stream just so I can obviously move on with the rest of my day. I do have to put the Traxxas XMAXX back together, but I got to clean everything first. So I'm going to clean it all up, put it all back together. I'm not going to touch the differentials. None of that stuff needs to be cleaned out. I don't need to open them. I know everything's meant. So basically it's just going to need a nice cleaning. I will try to do something about the front bearings. Oh, Earl, while you're on here, I need a live at the hobby store today. What? So I need a live at the hobby store. What, at your hobby store? Scruffy Page, we'll see you later, man. Well, it was 2.5 hours, guy. That's a pretty good one. We were able to get the majority. Well, I mean, the Traxxas XMAXX is all in pieces now. See, there's pieces over there. There's pieces over there. So you got pieces right there. You got pieces behind me. Does it focus? Oh, it does zoom in. I didn't think it would zoom in. Pieces there. Looks like just a pile. Hey, what is it? My Traxxas XMAXX, its nickname is Trash Bag. So, right. Is that an XMAXX? Yes, sir. It is. It's piles. It's piles of XMAXX right now. And I literally have yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah, I'll show you. We won't end the live stream just yet. So, when I say I have piles, I mean it. So, this is why my wife is awesome right here. Okay? This is our dining room table. We've got piles of XMAXX here. We got pile of XMAXX here. We got the drive shaft there. We got a little tiny motor right here. That thing, which I still haven't even done anything with. We got another pile of XMAXX. We got another pile of XMAXX. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's piles of XMAXX literally everywhere. And like I was saying, my wife is awesome because she doesn't really... I mean, every once in a while, she'll kind of be like, you know... You guys want to go off? You know, she'll go like, when can I have my dining room table back? And usually, like, as soon as she says that, I'll clean it off. But most of the time, it's really no big deal. That's what's great about it. Go ahead, go. Come on, guys. You want to go in the woods? I probably can't go too far away from the thing here, the Wi-Fi, can I? Come on, keep going that way. Where are you going? Come on. Haley, come on this way. What? What you doing, you happy dog, huh? So, yeah, piles of XMAXX literally all over the house. So, she's very patient. She's very kind. She's very loving. All of the above. She's actually going to be doing some filming with me, or for me, technically. So, which will be kind of cool. It'll definitely, you know, make it maybe a little bit more cinematic because, you know, I'll be able to get like some of those shots that I couldn't normally get, you know, without her. So anyways, all right. Did I wreck my XMAXX? So that's a tough thing to answer because did I really wreck it? No, I didn't really wreck it. There's a warranty issue with the motor, but I think Traxxas is going to win on that, meaning I literally just don't have the patience to deal with it. I don't have the patience to want to deal with how they want to handle it. So and I think that's what Traxxas is learning is that, you know, if they put up a little bit of a fight, people will be more just like, you know what, just forget it. I'll just figure it out myself. You know, they'll get bent out of shape like I am, and then eventually, you know, they'll buy another Traxxas later on. Who knows? I have no idea. But point blank, my wheel bearings went on my very first battery pack through it, and I wasn't even, I don't know, I think I swear to God, I was only probably 5 minutes into ripping it, and my wheel bearings had started to fall apart. And then, and I realized that after the fact, not during the fact. And then my motor pinion slipped about 3/4 of the way through. 3/4 of the way through on that second rip. You got to check out that video, man. You might like it. So the pinion slipped, and then I ended up realizing that I had motor shaft end play, which was, in my opinion, significant because I suspect it was causing some issues. So, but anyways, I don't know. I really beat on it. It's a good truck. It's very. I will say Traxxas XMAXX is a very resilient truck. Nothing is indestructible. It's not like I proved that, but if you watch the video, you might get the idea that, you know, wow, this thing actually can take a good beating. But if you do put down a beating on it like that, 100% no, especially in the conditions that I ran that in, man. The maintenance is massive. It's a full tear down. So, but that's only the way I drove it and the conditions. That's all. I was running it in, someone called it diamond dust. So that's part of the issue. I was running it in diamond dust. So, all right. So like I always say, I'm usually out there. You should get out too and point blank rip it. So right now we got Eric Vale, we got Barbecue, STL Scion, Sergeant J, Italians RC, Scruffy Page, Earl Moorhead. All right. Send you the Traxxas motor. You'll deal with it, right? Earl Moorhead. I think I said Barbecue. JORC. Say it again. Or more accurately, it wrecked itself. Nah. I don't know, man. I know what I know, and that's probably as far as it's gonna go. Sergeant, yeah, I said Sergeant J. STL. I think that's it. Eric Vale, I think. Just trying to go through this here. Two Ritter F5. Oh, he took off. Mike Jernak. I think that's, oh, Game Changer. What's going on, guy? Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Trash bag. That is the name of my XMAXX. My XMAXX's name or nickname now is called Trash Bag. So, and I love it. I think it's perfect. I think it's the perfect name for my XMAXX. We're going to be taking out Trash Bag today. So everybody's going to know. Kind of like, you know, Big Black. Big Black is called Big Black for a reason. It's a big beast of a truck. And to be quite honest with you, it kind of is named after Chris. So, you know, when he died, that was pretty sad, man. So, but Big Black literally is named after Chris. So, anyways, all of you guys, just get out there and rip it, will you? Just throw a smile on your face. If you feel like buying a Traxxas, buy a Traxxas. If you want to buy a LOSI, do that. You want to buy an ARRMA, definitely do that. I'm just wine bagging right now because I don't like the way Traxxas handled the warranty situation, and I guess it just chalk it up to it is what it is. And unless Traxxas like pulls out some miracles, I don't see me furthering my relationship with Traxxas. So that's just, again, that's just a personal opinion. I'm not going to get rid of my XMAXX. I'm not going to get rid of any of the Traxxas vehicles that I have, but I also don't really have a strong desire at this point in time to continue to funnel my money to that company right now. So, and again, like I'm saying, that's just a personal opinion. I'm sure everybody else out there is like, you know, you're out of your mind. Traxxas is the god of all RCs and all this other stuff, and I should be bowing down and kissing Traxxas's feet and all this other stuff, but no, thank you. So anyways, like I always say, get out and rip it. I'm not going to get out and rip it today. I got too much other junk to do. So we got to do a tear down on the Mojave. That's going to be next. The Mojave is ready. Now, this is going to be very interesting because this is a vehicle that was acquired back in October of 2019. And every single day of its life has been abusive. Now, this Mojave has not been exhibiting really anything major to tell me to maintenance the vehicle. The only reason why I am now is because from that last rip, my right side rear wheel finally ovalized or stripped out or whatever. It still kind of has a hex appearance, but I know the plastic has finally stretched where that hex goes, and it just because of the amount of power that thing puts out to the rear end, there definitely is it's time. It's time for maintenance. It's time to blow it apart. It's time to basically see, in a sense, we ripped an XMAXX in the same location doing literally the same exact stuff, except the XMAXX was only ripped once at that location. The UDR was ripped 2 or 3 times at that location and exhibited no issues other than the last rip. But that's also maintenance. So now it's time for that to be torn down, inspected, see if there's really anything wrong with it, and basically rebuild it. It is going to go through what I'm calling the Monster Mojave Mini conversion. And if you've kind of been seeing some of my channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about and what that is concerning. So it's just a very minor conversion, but I feel as though potentially it's going to be a positive experience, but the only way to find out is to actually do it. So I finally decided, after it giving me, you know, so many problems with that wheel nut falling off and me finding it. I found it twice. And what you also don't realize, I found it 3 times, except the third time I was already gone and I was editing the video. So in the video, when the Mojave crashes for the last time and it loses its wheel, if you pause the video to where I walk over and there's a stone, there's a black stone that's to the, I think it's to the lower right of the video. If you look up slightly diagonal to the left, you'll see half of the hex sitting in the sand. And what happened was I just didn't see it. I don't know if it was, maybe it was too bright or whatever, but the hex is probably still there right now. So, or the wheel nut, whatever you want to call it the hex. The wheel nut is actually, you'll see it in the video. And I just didn't see it. And that's the stuff that the camera catches that your eyes don't catch. The camera also does in reverse too. You happen to see the scope of something that the camera just can't see. So anyways, I'm out of here. Just get out there, throw a smile on your face, rip some RCs. Go ahead and don't be afraid to do a burnout in your own driveway for real. It's actually a pretty pleasing experience if you've never done it before. Just make sure you own the driveway and make sure you don't piss off your neighbors. So I'm out of here. You should get out too. Get out and rip it. And thank you guys for coming to this COVID and Coffee XMAXX Teardown Rip 2 Part 2, something like that. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot. I keep saying maybe we'll do a nighttime live, but you know what? Because of the changes in StreamYard, maybe we really will do a nighttime live with RC Guy, or late night live with RC Guy Garage tonight. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So thanks for coming.